Greetings, one and all, from the White Mountains of Arizona. We're back with another walk and chat, the spiritual walkabout, and we're here with Tara.
Hello.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it, but she's in a little pain, aren't you?
I sure am. So if I talk a little funny, it's because I'm keeping the tongue on one part of my mouth. I lost my crown yesterday.
Yeah. Which leads us into our first topic of today, and that's the recent illnesses that we've been hearing about from our friends and family,
Yeah,
especially dealing with the teeth.
yeah, it's odd. Everybody's been talking about like, oh, I got super sick. I had a flu or a cold or just random stuff. Like all of a sudden, like for me, I had like some swollen fingers for a while. They're back to normal now, and then like my crown popped out yesterday. So now I gotta go to the dentist. Hopefully tomorrow, get it put back in. But people have been talking about their teeth. Like James's teeth were hurting,
Mm-hmm.
and some other friends, they're having some tooth issues. Another friend's crown actually fell out. And I kind of went into it and inwards to kind of figure out like what's going on, especially with the teeth.
Let's
And
go
it
with that.
seems like that because of all the shifting and the changing of the vibration of the earth, that there's a lot that's being left behind. And so in the physical sense, it'd be like the teeth. Its teeth are representative of death and transformation, shedding one's old persona. And so to lose a tooth, especially like in a dream, means to let go of something. So in the energetic sense, we're all shedding something, we're letting go of something, and how that's being represented apparently is in our teeth at the moment.
Yeah. And then the fairies come into our bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. And it goes hand in hand also in 3D, I guess, with
Mm-hmm.
all this spraying we've been noticing, the amped up,
Mm-hmm.
you know what's.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blue sky this morning. There was a bunch of spraying that got laid down. Now you can see it's an absolutely like gray covered
Yeah,
sky.
we had completely blue skies. We had a bunch of spraying, and now it's like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
We're nowhere
Um,
near an ocean.
and it looks like a marine layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been noticing some heavy spraying lately because all of a sudden, it's like the weather that we look at, or like our online weather, just kind of for the area. We're looking at it, and it's just been changing drastically. And like it'll say, oh, there's a storm coming, but it won't look like there's a storm coming because it's blue skies, it's hot outside. Where I'm in shorts, I want to be in shorts, and I'm like, no, I don't think a storm's coming. And then all of a sudden, all these planes in the sky and laying down lines that don't disappear, that just kind of turn into weird clouds and turn into what you guys see on camera right now. And then all of a sudden, when they say there's going to be a storm, that storm comes.
Right.
Just, isn't that fancy?
And then they've doubled their efforts in the last month or two, I would say. They've doubled their efforts spray wise. We've seen it all over the news, however much you want to listen to that, with poisoning of the water, of the air. I just think they're ramping up their efforts.
Yeah, but remember in the it was either the last walk in chat or the one before that, where we tapped into the wind. You guys might hear it on camera, I'm not sure. Got my little sock on there. But the wind was saying that the earth's doing its best to try to keep itself from being poisoned. And so one way we can help ourselves is to make sure that you infuse everything with
Yeah.
light, with frequency. You don't have to be subject to the whims of whatever it is they're doing. We're so powerful. We can change.
Well, let's not
things.
repeat ourselves. We said that last week.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we don't need to repeat.
Well, hey,
But speaking of the wind,
I was reiterating.
yesterday we had an interesting channeling, didn't we?
Yes,
With
we
Nikola
channeled.
Tesla.
Yes, Mr. Tesla.
And well, tell us your thoughts on that, and then I'll say my thoughts.
Well, I will say that was now the second channeling where I completely went somewhere else, and I have no idea what I said until I rewatched channeling, and I was like, whoa. But wherever my ego was, I was watching. It was like Tesla took a seat inside of me, and I'm going through this guy's memories. Like I'm looking at when he got reprimanded by his mom, or like the girls he had crushes on, like running around doing things, you know, like it was like all these weird random like childhood memories and just memories of him. And that's what I was focusing on, where the other part of me was talking to James, I guess. Well, it wasn't me, but it was it
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yeah, Tesla's one of my favorite spirits that we've ever channeled. I mean, the first time we did it was fascinating. The second time also fascinating. But he has a great personality. That's why I wanted to talk to the 3D aspect of him, or whatever 3D aspect of him still exists in whatever realm.
Yeah.
But one of my main cool, or one of the biggest takeaways for me was he kind of likened religion to science, and
Mhm.
how in the past, when they applied science to religion, there was no questioning it.
Mhm.
Right, the
It was
two were
God's will.
intertwined. Right, it was God's will, and he said, like, we're learning that same lesson over again.
Mhm.
Um, our science has become a religion, or vice versa, to the point where the two are blended, and we just don't question it anymore.
Yeah, like the government is now the church from back in the day, and now the, you know, science and the church or government are intertwined once again, and it's like you're not allowed to question it. Like it's so absolute, it just is. There is no other mode of thinking. There is no other science to contradict the science, and it's like a misuse of the word science.
Well, I think both of those things, religion and science, are tied in with authority.
Mhm.
Um, the church was the authority on science, and you didn't question it. Now it's science is the question on, it's just the end all be all, and you can't question the science. And the scientists are um, the
They're the
priests. They
priests,
can't be
the
questioned.
bishops, the cardinals.
Right.
Yeah. So that was interesting, you know, rewatching that. So you guys definitely give it a watch and let us know what you think, because, um, well, Tesla obviously he puts things a lot better than I could,
Yeah.
like what his definition of science was, and um, kind of, you know, like James was saying, the whole reliving um, a lesson that we apparently didn't learn pre-medieval
Yeah.
times.
The gist of it was, think for yourself, gather your own intelligence. You are a smart person. You can connect to the ether, to the air, as he did,
Mm-hmm.
and you can ask that air to perform magic for you, essentially.
And you know, and he was saying, you know, there's an infinite number of timelines, and he's saying you guys choose the timeline you want to be on. You know, you want to tap into infinite energy again, choose your timeline, you know. But he's like, you guys got to go inwards.
Mm.
So that was interesting. uh,
What else did you want to talk about?
we were actually watching well, we're always watching YouTube videos, and one of it was just a random video we came across where it was Ben Shapiro was speaking at a college or something like that. I don't
Hmm.
know. It was just a clip of him having some debate with some college kid or whatever about trauma, like cultural trauma, generational
That's
trauma.
right.
And the kid was basically saying that because Ben Shapiro's great grandparents or something had survived the Holocaust, that means that their trauma would be passed down to Ben Shapiro, basically, and that Ben Shapiro would never be able to get out of that trauma because racism still exists, and things of that nature. Whereas Shapiro was saying, well, aren't there examples of people who went through entire genocides, their culture was almost wiped out, yet they seem to be doing okay. But it seemed like what they failed to talk about was healing. Like, where's the healing? You know, it seems like there's a lot of people that want the external. Like, I want reparations for what happened to my culture, or you know, what happened in my family ages ago, because the trauma is still going on. Yes, that's not being debated. Of course, trauma is still going on because there isn't healing taking place. So how do we heal it? You know, we can't say, oh, here's a large sum of money, or we'll have people constantly tell you, oh, I'm sorry, and that's going to make you heal. That won't. That's all external. You know, so all this has got to come from within. I think this is where a lot of the divide is coming from, or how they keep
Well,
people divided.
the divide is between the people who wish to give their power away and the people who wish to explore it and embrace it. And so it goes along with what we were talking about with Tesla, with authority.
Mm.
A lot of people in this society want to give up their power to authority because they're scared of it. They're scared of what they could do. They're scared of being different, whatever they're
Mm.
scared of. And so they give their power to authority, not questioning whether or not that authority is beneficial to them, if they're nefarious or not, or what their agenda is.
So yeah, I mean, all of this is, we're looking for all these changes to happen, and we're looking for these. Many people are looking for the external. I need to see the external changes. I want to see the external, that the governments change, that people change, that all these traumas just go away. But how is that going to happen unless we go inwards and we start healing ourselves? We don't heal in here, nothing is going to change on the outside. Any people that follow like a more witches creed, as above so below, as within so without. What happens in 3D is affected by the 4D. What's happening on the inside is going to be reflected on the outside. Hence why we were talking about the teeth. What's going on a spiritual level is being shown in our physical bodies. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to see our traumas, see our shadows, and say, okay, you can't heal them for me. I'm going to go inside. And if we all did that, wow, what would this place look like?
Right. Take some personal responsibility. You have to end the trauma, the generational line of pain and suffering. It has to end somewhere, so you have to do it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, like we're, all we got this down pat. Obviously, I have a lot of stuff. I know I have to go inwards. I have a lot to heal. There's a lot of my own family's generational trauma, plus probably cultural traumas of all my various cultures that are in my physical bloodstream, but also my past life trauma and, all this stuff. And so I got to work on it too.
Well, the people that didn't click on this video to talk about traumas, they're going to slip their wrists or something. Don't do it, guys. Do we end on a joke? You have a joke or something? I mean, jeez.
I don't know. Why is Snoop Dogg bring out an umbrella? For the drizzle.
You missed it. It's faux drizzle.
No.
There's no duh.
Okay, that's what the students told me back when I worked at the high school. That's how they told me the joke.
The
students
only know Snoop Dogg as a 40-year-old decrepit man. It's
Some
faux drizzle.
Still think he's cool.
It's faux drizzle. Trust me. All right. Well,
whatever.
We gotta go. Clearly.
My tooth hurts.
Yeah, we're delirious or something.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.